What's up, guys? I'm Jason Heine from the Emulator Review. Thanks for hanging out with me today. So I'm coming at you today with a hardware review. Now, as you know, the Emulator Review, my show in general, is many things. I can bring you a game review, I can bring you hardware review, I can bring you media coverage. You see, I didn't want to be limited to what I could do on my show, so I'm really excited because I'm going to be bringing all sorts of new things to the table. And I'm getting back into a bit more of my hardware section here. And I have a piece of hardware here for the Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64. We have the Joycard 64, produced by Hudson and released in 1997. Now, this was released specifically for Bomberman Hero. I don't have a Japanese Nintendo 64, nor do I have Bomberman Hero for that console. I have it for the US console, but not for the Japanese console. So I've never played it with it, but I was really intrigued when I was researching this controller because I saw a lot of opportunities for this to take my gaming to the next level. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So let's jump right in here and see what the Joycard 64 is all about. Alright guys, so here we are taking a look at the Joycard 64 box itself. I bought this new from Japan and imported here. The box, you know, has a little bit of shelfware, this and that, and all in all is in really good shape here. And I was interested because there were some features on the controller that I really wanted for my own gaming experience, but I was interested to see what did they have, what were the plans really for the Bomberman series that Hudson was putting on. So I was interested in what they had, and I wasn't exactly sure, so I went over here to the Bomberman wiki. Yes, there is a wiki for Bomberman specifically. It's an entire website. Bomberman.wiki, I believe here. Bomberman.wiki.a.com. Anyway, from on here it says, in the Bomberman Hero game, there are 3 secret levels that can be unlocked. Hudson has a history of awarding players with additional content with their special controller if it was connected to the console. So, if a player used a Joycard 64, a new option called Bonus would appear in the main menu. I have a screenshot of that right here. You see there at the bottom it says Bonus. Okay. So it's supposed to be used with the turbo function on the start button to access the levels. Okay, so basically what happens is at the beginning of the game, you're supposed to button mash the start button as fast as you can. If you do hit it as fast as you can, it will unlock the bonus stage. But if you have the controller plugged into the console, it senses that and will unlock it as it is. I'm assuming, because here's the thing. It has turbo buttons, and it has a turbo button for the start button specifically. That is going to help you unlock the bonus stages. So anyway, that's kind of the idea, but let's go ahead and jump in and let's open this up here. So let's see what we got here. Everything's still shrink wrapped in there. All right. So here we have the Joycard 64 controller. Get a nice shot of it there. Everything appears to be exactly the same, you know, as it would be on Nintendo 64 joystick. L and R, you got your C buttons, your A and B, your start, joystick, the D-pad, and the Z button. The first thing that we're going to notice right off the bat is that, look on the back, these little handles here, they're a lot shorter. And actually, they have quite an indent here. They curve in quite a bit. So they give you, I don't know, what do you want to call that? Stubby? They're a bit stubbier. How about that? Is that even a word? I made it up right now. So the first thing is that it actually fits and feels a lot better in your hands because when you hold the controller, I mean, like, it's contoured to where your middle finger will wrap around. It's pretty nice. And then another thing too is where the Z button is back here on the middle joystick, you can see the contour here. So when you hold it, trigger finger, your pointer finger rests right there, and then it actually wraps around. Your middle finger has a nice spot for it, as opposed to the original 64 controller. It didn't have that, just kind of rests right there. Believe me guys, it's very comfortable. And I would definitely prefer that the controllers be styled like this in general. This feels really nice. Okay, so then moving on to the actual, let's see. Yeah, the plugs, of course, exactly the same. It looks just like a 64 one. Moving on to the middle of the controller, and as you see, it says Hudson right there in the middle. You have turbo buttons. Like I said, here's your turbo button for start. I think how it works is this is off. In the middle is, I think, auto. You hold it, it will do turbo. And I think all the way to the right is full on, I believe. I don't know. I think that's how it works. And then you have turbo buttons for Z, trigger, A, and B. Color coded. Pretty nice. So really, having a controller that is of good quality, first of all, because you know how the third-party stuff is. It can be hit or miss. But having a controller that's made by Hudson, you know you're going to get a good product. And that's what this is. I was really looking forward to getting that and having, you know, a controller that actually had good build quality, but also had the turbo buttons, which is nice. I am leaving the best for last. There's another feature in this controller that really is really interesting, and I guess you would use it for Bomberman. I guess there's a certain element that it would be used for, but I was also seeing a whole bunch of possibilities in other games that it could be used for, and I'm talking about the joystick itself. Now let's get a close look here. Hopefully this will come out on camera here. If we get a look at the controller, the joystick right there, can you see right there? It says pull with arrows to turn, and at the top it has like a little dial, like little notches up there. It actually shows notches. You know, what this is you can adjust the sensitivity of the joystick on the fly. And watch this. All you do is you pull it straight up and then rotate it and then put it back down. See that? You see where the arrow is now? Pull it up, rotate it, drop it down. And that adjusts the sensitivity. Moving it all the way to the left will give you less sensitivity. Moving it all the way to the right will give you greater sensitivity. And that has to deal with the pressure sensitivity, if you will. So more responsive, less responsive. I find that to be, you know, that could be useful in, say, like a shoot 'em up, or anything. I mean, think about playing Mario 64 or something, where you can really adjust, you know, how quickly he jumps to action or how quickly he moves. You know, I don't know. I mean, think of the games that you play on 64, and think of the application that could be for that, which is really cool. So maybe I'll do a side shot of this so you can see it actually come up out of the thing. So you see, it comes up. See how much it comes up? Just a little bit. You rotate it and push it back in. So that's it right there. So it's a really cool joystick. And now if we go ahead and bring in, a standard Nintendo 64 controller, try to put them as close together as possible. Get lined it up. Kind of probably hard to see the black one because it's on black background, but I mean, and if you can kind of see where, you know, the actual handles there cut off. I mean, it's a whole, you know, ½ inch shorter. A whole ½ inch shorter. Let's see if I can show you guys. Hope it comes out. But I mean, it's a whole lot shorter. Maybe even seeing in the back of them, you can see. Quite a bit. Okay, so yeah, I guess the 64 does have a little indentation, but the one on the Joycard is a lot more contoured, a lot more indented, so it definitely fits quite a bit better. It feels better. It actually feels like you've, you know, like the controller there has something to hold on to. Pretty nice. So anyway, that right there is the Joycard 64 for the Nintendo 64, produced by Hudson in 1998. Released in conjunction and to go with the Bomberman Hero game that was released. So anyway, if you guys can find these, you know, import them if possible. I waited a long time and I finally came across a Japanese site that had one, and so I imported it, and the price was right and it just worked out. So I haven't played it with any games just yet, but I'm looking forward to diving in and seeing all the cool possibilities that it brings. So guys, thanks for hanging out. I am Jason Heine from the Emulator Review. This has been a hardware review. So thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you later.